Okay.
Good evening, everyone. This is Chris Hankey, the superintendent, and this is Yolanda Hamilton, our diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant. We are here tonight to have a town hall for parents. And unfortunately, we really have one topic, and it's why we extended remote learning till January 4th due to the rise in COVID-19 infections. I do want to share that neither I nor the Board of Education take this situation lightly in terms of changing. We do want children back in school, but we need to keep people safe. A couple of things that are happening around the state. The governor just spoke this past half hour to the state. Yesterday, there were 6,500 positive cases in Ohio. Day after day, we keep breaking records in this state. And unfortunately, in all 88 counties in this state, including Cuyahoga County, we have widespread infection rates. With that, we needed to make the decision to extend the remote learning period to at least January 4th. We will reevaluate it as it gets closer. I want to go over a couple of numbers with everybody. Or a couple of statistics, I suppose. First of all, this is what has been jarring for everyone. If we look here, it took 112 days from the start of the pandemic on March 9th to reach 50,000 cases in this state. The next 50,000, it took 42 days. The next 50,000, it took 48 days. The next 50,000 took 30 days, so it was shrinking. And then in the last 13 days, the state has seen 50,000 infections. It only took 13 days to do that. The second piece I do want to share, and I shared it during the board work session, again, is the Cuyahoga County data, which does exclude the city of Cleveland because they have their own health department. But this covers Garfield Heights. In 1 month, the rate of infection of people that were tested went from 2.4% to 10.1%. And there is more testing going on. However, according to the Board of Health and the governor, this infection rate is mainly due to the fact that there's just more COVID spreading everywhere. So those are things that we took into account when we made the decision. What I want to tell everybody, and what the governor, and I want to echo the governor, we need to really, and I know everybody's tired of this, but we really need to get back to basics in terms of wearing masks, social distancing, washing our hands, not going places that we don't have to. If we're able to stay in or near our homes, it's going to be helpful. Second thing I want everyone to think about is the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. The governor did reiterate that gatherings of more than 10 people are actually against the health order from the state of Ohio, even in private residences. The reason for that health order is that anyone that comes into your house that doesn't live in your house could potentially carry the virus. Excuse me. I truly believe that, especially those folks that have underlying conditions, maybe of an advanced age, have a great potential of being hospitalized for this virus. And we really have to think about all of our relatives and family members as we move forward. And my hope is that we just need to really bear down and keep going and following all the protocols so we can get the children back in school and return to a little bit more normalcy. If you've seen the news, you do understand that it looks like a vaccine may be on the way, but it's not here right now. And so we have to follow all of the guidelines that we have been following to really drive down the infection rate again. Additionally, the governor also did warn businesses and especially restaurants, bars, and fitness centers that if he's going to look at the numbers within a week and we may be going back to a widespread closure like we had in the spring. With that, Mrs. Bailey or Ms. Hamilton, do we have questions coming in? Let me see here. None yet?
Not at this time.
Okay. Let me just talk a little bit more about the learning that is going on. We do have the remote learning going on. We are in our second week of, today was an asynchronous day. The administrators and teachers are working together on that day to make sure that we're serving small groups and we're helping children. Secondly, we do have some students in that we will have them remain in the low incidence disability settings. And families have been contacted individually about those. Those have been going well, and we have not had issues because we've been practicing mask wearing and social distancing in those classrooms, which has been a very good thing. Additionally, we have been able to expand and help with some of our neediest families, some of their issues in terms of access and places to learn, which has been important for us. Mrs. Hamilton, do you since we don't have any questions right now, do you want to kind of talk a little bit about our equity efforts in terms of all this?
Sure. So the Equity Task Force for the district has been working diligently to make sure that we're looking to fill the gaps and assist parents and families and students with their needs during this time. I just want to go ahead and mention this, even though we're early on in the town hall, that next Thursday, November 19th, we will have a town hall that is focused on understanding the resources that are available to you during this time. We know and are not ignorant to the fact that this is having quite the impact on the mental health and socio-emotional well-being of our students in the district. So we want to make sure that parents and families are informed of the resources that we have in place that you can take advantage of to support your family's individual needs during this time. Again, as Mr. Hankey mentioned, none of us really anticipated this being prolonged, but again, we want you to know that there are resources in place to support you during this time. If you have any questions regarding the town hall or resources, I would welcome you to put that in the chat as well as this time. And again, just to mention, the town hall regarding the resources available around mental health and socio-emotional well-being will take place next Thursday, which is November 19th at 6 p.m.
Thank you, Mrs. Hamilton. And we did have a question come across. Will there be a 2-1-2 schedule for all students once we return? Our plan is to, right now, is to return in the hybrid model on January 4th. We hope we can do that. We hope then we'll have an opportunity to have all the students in the district have some in-person learning. As an educator, I truly believe that there isn't a substitute for in-person learning, but safety is always first, and as we've said throughout the pandemic. So we hope to return into the hybrid model on January 4th. And hopefully, if things do normalize, at some point we can return fully. But it would have to, the infection rates and would have to go way down, and we'd have to go down into the yellow area of the color-coded system, which means that there's not a lot of community spread. So we will be keeping an eye on that. And I will be informing the public through these town halls, through our board work sessions, and through our regular Board of Education meetings as we move forward. And while not perfect, we do appreciate all of the parents' efforts, and we know this is difficult on parents, helping their children during this remote learning period, and making sure that they're logging in and really engaging with the teachers in their lessons. And I'd also certainly like to thank all of the teachers. Also, as an educator, very difficult. Certainly teaching through a screen like this is not ideal, but they have made great efforts to make sure that they're engaging with the students And that they're really making sure that any of the gaps that are happening in terms of education are being addressed. I'd also like to thank our third grade parents. We were able to successfully test all, I think, but 5 or 10 third grade students. So the parents that trusted us to do that safely and with social distancing and mask wearing, we were able to make sure all the third grade students were given the state assessment that was required of us this fall. We still don't. We believe that the state is also going to require state testing in the spring. We have not heard otherwise. There's been no change in the law, and we will make provisions to do that as safely as possible. And while certainly nothing's perfect, we believe we do have a lot of things in place to make sure that students are safe as they do enter our buildings. But for now, certainly, that's it's important to make sure that you're remaining safe and remote. I see another question here. 212 during remote learning. That's been modified a bit. What we have decided is to have the asynchronous Wednesday. So other than that, students are getting direct contact with teachers 4 days a week. We believed that was probably the best for our students. It was a change, especially for our younger students, where it has been difficult, especially in the K through 3 area, kindergarten through third grade. Not having direct contact with teachers becomes difficult. So we are starting with the asynchronous piece. The 212 will be done in the hybrid model. I guess Mrs. Bailey, again, since it looks like we have a little time, do you want to talk about the technology efforts thus far since you're here, and some of the things we were able to really move forward with through the pandemic? Again, sometimes there's opportunity in emergencies. So
absolutely. Well, I was just telling someone today that we went from not having Chromebooks go home with children to the pandemic starting, and now we are a one-to-one school district. That means we have a Chromebook for every child in the district. And I'm very excited about that. Mr. Hankey just mentioned how our third grade children had to come in to take the third grade reading test. And we always provide technology support during things like that. And I was so proud of our students. They all wore masks. They all remembered to bring in their Chromebooks for their test. We had some extra devices in case we needed it. And it just gave us a really good window into what's going to happen when we all get back to school, when our students will be able to be using their devices at home and at school. We've been able to provide tech support in every school building. Parents can call if they're having problems with their device. They can open tickets for us. We've been able to swap out if there's been a problem with the device to make sure that we have someone that's working. We've been able to distribute hotspots when needed. And we're working now with PCs for the People to get some additional hotspots for families. So our goal is to make sure that every child has a device, has the internet, and is able to continue their learning at home. I know also at Maple Leaf right now, we have an assessment going on for Maple Leaf students related to reading. And again, this is being done remotely with our teachers at school and our students at home, and the technology is there to support it. So I couldn't be more proud of the way that everybody has included, especially the teachers, changing the way they provide instruction, and the students the way they're receiving it. So it's just been, I couldn't have wished for anything better. Absolutely. So obviously, if you have a problem, I guess the biggest thing really to let families know, those who are watching, is that if you're having an issue with anything, by all means, call your child's school. Whether you're a BDA student, your child has a home school where he or she might have been attending, and then make sure you tell them what's going on. Usually there's someone in the building can help you walk through it. You can come with your device. We always have extras in the building. So if there's a problem, we can swap it out with you so you can make sure that your child can get back to the learning that he or she needs to be doing. So when all us, whenever there's a problem, just ask. We're here to help.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mrs. Bailey. And I'd like to echo that, an opportunity in this was that we were able to, secure devices for everybody. And we'll continue to do that. And again, to echo Mrs. Bailey, make sure that you're reaching out if there's an issue that you need help with technology.
Mr. I had a couple.
Go ahead.
A couple of other things to reiterate. I just want to encourage families to check out our website for the COVID dashboard that's updated regularly on the district's website. So you can refer to that just for real-time updates around COVID. And then also, Mr. Hankey, I had a message that came through text from a community member asking if you could clarify that the January 4th date does not include the preschool and low incidence students.
Oh yeah, let me again clarify. Our preschool low incidence students that are currently attending are going to continue to attend. We are monitoring the situation in terms of any sort of issue with COVID infection. We understand that nothing's foolproof. We believe and we continue to believe that we're doing this as safely as possible, and we'd like to continue on with our programming for those students. Certainly the January 4th date is about coming back in the hybrid model. That date, oh, by the way, that date's significant just because it's the day after our winter break. It quite frankly is not a natural academic date because it is still in the second quarter. But I think that it provides us, the school district and the families, a sense of, if there's a break, then we can come after. I did receive some communication today from a staff member, actually, but it's an important thing that if our team has considered the fact that there could be some spread over the winter break, and we realize that, and we're going to be looking at the numbers. And I understand there's a bit of a lag. Some of the things we might be seeing right now might quite frankly be due to Halloween. There were some indoor gatherings around the county that were probably not very safe in terms of mask wearing and social distancing. That could have driven this rate up a bit. And we do recognize that. And again, I reiterate about making sure that you're really following the protocols and keeping those gatherings as small as possible. I know it's difficult. I'm a family. I have a family. I've got, my wife's got parents. I've got parents and our daughter and everything. And we're trying to be as safe as possible during the holidays. So I can continue on with what I do and as can my daughter, my wife, and my parents and my in-laws, safely. And everybody has those folks in their lives. So we want to make sure that we are doing that. I don't see many new questions. I do want to just briefly say, and I know that we don't have as many people watching, and it could be because of we did have a board meeting Monday. We did go over some things, but I do want to say Happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans. We have lots of veterans in Garfield Heights. We appreciate all your service, and again, we want to keep all our veterans safe too. I'll keep reiterating this. Okay. Everybody needs to be safe, and please make sure that you're following all the guidelines. With that, in the coming days, we will keep communicating with you. I know I did not have a Friday video because we were kind of looking. We had the board meeting Monday. We'll be doing something this Friday for everybody, and we'll put that out on Remind. If there aren't any questions, I know this was a short town hall, but I truly believe in the power of these town halls, and we're going to continue on. And as Mrs. Hamilton said, November 19th at 6 p.m., mark your calendars. We're going to have a really great program for you. And this is going to be the first time, I think, where we have, what I would characterize as a program. We may, if we were in person, we'd have, like, say, at the Performing Arts Center or something, but it's going to be virtual. We're going to make sure it works. So, and get everybody the resources. Don't hesitate to reach out to me, email, phone, to your schools. If you have questions, we'll help you. So with that, does anybody have anything else at this time? Okay. All right. Good night, everyone. Stay safe. Follow the guidelines. Make sure that we're staying safe so we can have the kids come back. Thank you.